Hi. Good evening. Well, it's past evening now. It's just kind of nighttime. Um, it's Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. My hair is doing I'm not sure what this is. Fluff? Fluff. Every time I try to grow it out, fluff. But this time I'm going to really try to grow it out instead of cutting it. But usually it's about this time is when it gets lopped off. Not this time. Not this time. But maybe it will. I don't know. We'll see. Not been consistent, clearly. But what are you going to do? Work, exercise, life stuff. Not feeling like there's much to talk about. All of those things go into things, which I'm sure most people can understand. But I was about to go to bed, and I wanted to just talk briefly about, I don't know, I grew up in a time when computers started to become something you had at home. Like, so you had like a designated desktop computer, usually in the living room. We had a gateway computer. It came with a little squishy cow. I thought that was so cool. Me and my sister would play computer games on it. Like, there was Barbie Detective, specifically the Carnival Caper one. That was a lot of fun. But one game we played together quite a bit. I don't think we ever finished it. I don't really think we knew what we were doing, but it was fun. It was called Titanic Adventure Out of Time. And it was always kind of creepy because it was like the music was kind of eerie and there wasn't a lot of people you interacted with. Like, there were a lot of people you interacted with in the game. But there wasn't a ton of people, like, as you walked around the ship. And for some reason, I think because I come to find out now, it's like the 25th anniversary of the Titanic movie coming out, so like I feel like that's getting pushed pretty hard. But I, for some reason, had the urge to look up this game, and I have a Mac, I don't have a PC, so I can't like download it and play it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. But it was a very unique game. So it's like you go back in time, kind of, and you're a spy, which I never caught on to as a kid. But you're going back in time to like prevent basically like every significant war of the 21st century or the 20th century. Just whatever. It was like every significant war that came from prior to World War I all the way through, like literally any bad thing, right? It's just bizarre. But what was interesting about it is you got to explore around, which was cool. You got to talk to different people. You got to walk around the ship. But the people you talked to, they did this weird like screen capture thing. So they took someone's like real face and then they took pictures of their mouths and their eyes and like would change their expressions. So there was this kind of like uncanny valley kind of thing about playing the game. Everyone looked slightly off, a little bit crazy. But it was still a cool game. Anyway, because of all the Titanic nonsense being pushed, I was looking at that game and I listened to a walkthrough, which sounds weird, but it was kind of neat to see like what the whole game entailed. And then because of all the Titanic nonsense, I decided to rewatch the movie. I haven't watched it in like 10 years, probably more than that. I saw it in the movie theater as a kid. My parents took me, and looking back, I was only 7, so I'm thinking about how there's so many different things happening in that movie, and there's nothing like inappropriate per se, but I really enjoyed the movie as a child, but also it made me very upset. I'm a very empathetic person, which is for better or for worse, and that movie made me bawl my eyes out, which was funny because after we saw the movie, we went to Montgomery Ward when that store still existed, and we're walking through the not appliances, where all the TVs and stuff were, and I think my mom had to buy something, and I remember the woman behind the register like, "Are you okay?" And my mom's like, "Oh yeah, we just saw Titanic." She's like, "Oh, was it sad?" And I'm just like, "Uh-huh, it was sad." It was good and stop crying. It was ridiculous. But I was also 7. I'm a 7-year-old girl. You see a love story, and then you see Leonardo DiCaprio freeze to death. I guess that's dramatic. My point in bringing this up, though, is that today I decided to rent the movie and just listen to it. Because, like I said, hadn't watched it in years. And, you get towards the end of the movie, and, like, yeah, I know how it ends. I know what's going on. It's not a big deal. Still cried. Still felt very upset. still unnerved. It's like, ugh, and I remember why I don't watch this movie. It's a great movie. They did a good job overall, but my goodness. Ugh, that takes a lot. Too much for my brain, especially these days. But brought all this was all just to talk about how movie still makes me cry. It's not too shocked, but still. I say this because we've been watching The Last of Us and it's a great show, but you see all these things online about people bawling their eyes out after the first episode or the third episode, and I've watched all of them, and only this recent one, so episode 6 was the first one that actually made me a little upset, like teary, which is weird because usually I cry very easily. I don't know why. This one, for some reason, isn't doing it. Titanic, though, forget it. Still cried. Ridiculous. But all this rambling to say that if you haven't played the Titanic Adventure Out of Time game, you should, because it's weird, very strange, very much a product of its time, so 1996, but awesome. And it's on Steam for like $6, which was disappointing to find when I realized it was only for Windows. So if you get it, just think of me when you're playing it and how strange it is. It is a fun game though, but you get to play spy and talk to people and go to weird places in the Titanic. Who doesn't like to do that? Yeah, there's my rambling for the day. Other things that happened today. I ran 4 miles. That was fun. It was difficult today though. It's starting to get hot already because it's like the end of February, but it's already in the low 80s or mid 80s during the day, which makes me fear for the wrath of summer because it's gonna get really humid and probably be disgusting all year. Or not all year, all summer, which means I'm gonna have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go run. But do what you have to do to not run in the sun, I guess. Other than that, nothing else new, which is why there hasn't been much talking. We did go to Busch Gardens the other day. It's been busy every time we try to go, so like trying to film things is awkward just because there's just a zillion people and you can't really even do anything without like bumping into someone. I don't know. It didn't seem enjoyable. Like there was no like, ooh, come here and look at this. It was just like, this is kind of frustrating. But it was still nice. We did try to go on Monday. It was still very busy. But give it a try. Why not? Last thing I'll show you is the little fuzzball. He's ready for bed. This might be a little dark, but let's find out. There he is. As you can tell, he's sleepy. He's a sleepy fuzzball, but we love him. Anyway, hope you have a good night. Hope you had a good day. Hope you have a good night, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Maybe the next day. Maybe the weekend. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be here sooner than later. But anyway, see you later. Bye.